Hi, L-Dub. We are super lucky today because we have a special guest, and I'm glad you are all here to hear her. Azura Tyabji graduated from L-Dub in 2014, long ago, 4 years ago. And now I actually get pictures of her in my mailbox. Just last weekend, right? I opened my mailbox and there she is, Seattle's Youth Poet Laureate, Azura Tyabji. She's going to perform a piece for you today that she wrote for L-Dub and performed at our gala last spring. When she is finished, and you should know, even a Youth Poet Laureate, right, who goes around talking about poems, performing poems in front of hundreds of people, is actually a little bit nervous to be here today, which I love. When she's done, if you have any questions that you want to ask her about the work that she's doing, or even about what's the best way for you to prepare to perform your poem at Poetry Night, she will take a few questions before you head off to class. But please, give your sister, Azura Tyabji, a warm welcome.
Is this live?
It is live.
Oh my god. Hi everybody. Wow, like what a huge honor to be here. This is my favorite audience of people, I've decided. And yeah, I'm nervous. But you know, honestly, I've had a hard week and it's beginning to become lighter as I'm standing here in front of you all. So thank you. Is everyone else having a rough week? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I see you. We see each other. Thank you for having me. Yeah, so this poem I wrote for L-Dub and performed at the gala because I have to credit this school for a lot of my confidence as a writer. So I'm really happy to share it with you all, and we can chat after, or I can answer some questions about preparing for open house, poetry night, any of the performances we have coming up. So, this poem is called For Female Revolution for Girls. It would go a little like this. The continents lean in to embrace, roll their oceans out like blue carpet for migrant guests. Borders crease themselves into kiss and welcome smile. No daughter's dreams expire, and no mother is illegal. No one's daughter witnesses her classmates' lives prematurely punctuated by bullets in 6 minutes and 30 seconds. In fact, Emma Gonzalez gets up on a podium at the March for Our Lives rally and melts every gun into lockets and jungle gyms. And for Miss Major Griffin Gracie, woman too much of the world insists on calling a man who mothered a trans rights movement from Stonewall, whose timeless name is lost between bricks, has every prison bar braided into a throne, every closet furnished into a shrine, more immortal than burial. Because as the marches have said, give us flowers while we're still here. She is still here. Like Alicia Garza, Opal Tometi, and Patrice Cullors, who coined Black Lives Matter, finally seeing the movement they christened from rage turn to say their names, like we should for Tarana Burke, whose name deserves billboards, justice, and podiums. Women have always been the mothers, the fuel and fire of movements. What is woman's work but revolution? Being kept from the stars but still working towards them. Women have carried nations into new orbits, yet are still called hidden figures, so let us remember that all these women revolutionaries were all just girls at some point. Girls, hushed oceans, sprouting continents too often bordered into dirt. Girls, lockets of dreams overflowing into movements, growing brick, an eager shrine, building towards pedestals appearing just out of her reach. Revolution feels like only our ancestors' work, but every revolutionary was once a girl. Like once, somewhere, sometime in 2014. A girl had her poem hung up in the hallway next to her classmates. A gaggle of plaques for brilliant girls breaking out of shy cocoons. Her art was celebrated. Her voice made as immortal as an ocean. On stage, 6 years ago, her school gifted her a mic. Shaking and brave, she captured fire in her mind, body, and voice. She has carried it with her ever since. That girl is me. To think I would be here, what 7th grade me would say before her school gave her permission to fall in love with her own voice. How her eyes used to divert to the floor instead of to an audience. Tarana Burke says that healing is a lifelong journey and the hardest part is starting. What would 7th grade Tarana Burke think of herself now? What about Miss Major, Patrice Cullors, or Emma Gonzalez? What would they say to the girls that they have grown from? Don't forget that somewhere there is a girl who thinks she has no place in a movement. So this school gives her flowers while she's still here, gives her mics and mentors and unconditional love that will drive her movement home. I melt injustice with the fire they gave me. I plant a garden of flowers for those still here. I say my name over and over until the world says it back to me pronounced right. I gather all the girls and tell them they are worth every plaque in the world, every stage and every podium. I am unapologetically strong in mind, body, and voice. So let us celebrate for all that we are and all the revolution we are becoming. How it will look a little like this. Thank you.